Hi everyone, welcome into this week's My Weekly CBS Fix. Hope you had a relatively good week. It's interesting how the Torah portions, the weekly Torah portions fall out. It's like as if there's a certain message that Hashem is sending us from that week's Torah portion. And last week and this week we're reading about the different sacrifices that we as the Jewish people have to bring to Hashem. And there's been many human sacrifices that Hashem chose to take that hopefully will act as an atonement on our part. And there's actually 5 reasons that the Medrash actually states why Hashem wants us to give sacrifices, to bring sacrifices. One reason is that it counters idolatry. People who were steeped in idol worship were actually bowing down to animals and serving animals. And Hashem actually said that it should be the animals that are actually brought as a sacrifice and burn them. And so therefore it uproots from us that idea that an animal should be served. Secondly, it was a fine imposed on a person who brought a sin, who did a sin. He had to bring a sacrifice. That would make sure that he wouldn't do a sin again. Another reason is that the Kohanim, the priests at the temple, they needed a livelihood and we were able to pay them for their services. A fourth reason is that a person thinks, really, that should be me on the sacrifice. But God in His great mercy allowed that instead it should be an animal, nefesh tachas nefesh, a soul for a soul, and instead of it's the soul of the animal. And then the fifth reason that I want to share most with you is that the person is thinking that while the animal is burning over there, what used to be this big, nice animal is now nothing but a pile of dust and ashes. And the person thinks, everything is vanity. Well, what am I running after? What are my worldly pursuits? At the end of the day, it's nothing. What am I going to have from it? And we can't take anything that we do in this world with us to the next world. It's nothing. Cars, houses, whatever, vacation, nothing. Everything just turns into ashes, and it gives that point. A person brings a sacrifice. He thinks to himself, what am I doing in this world? What am I trying to accomplish? And what can I really actually take with me to the next world? And of course, those are the mitzvahs that we do, the good deeds that we do, the Torah that we learn. In this week's parasha, the verse says, Im al toda yakrivenu, if a person will actually bring a sacrifice as a toda, as a thanksgiving offering. And the Medrash teaches us that in the future, when Moshiach comes, which we all know will be very, 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 very soon, so in the future, all these different sacrifices will be eliminated except for the toda, except for the carbon toda, except for the thanksgiving offering. Now, why is that? Usually a thanksgiving offering is brought when this massive miracle happens for a person that's in need, so you could come with the thanksgiving offering. If a person needed money, and finally Hashem gives him this great job, so you brought a thanksgiving offering. Or any other thing that we get saved from. But during the time Moshiach comes, there's not going to be any hunger and thirst. There won't be anybody who's wealthy or poor. There won't be sicknesses. Everything will be all honky-dory, like we say. It'll be a spiritual and physical utopia. If that's the case, so why are we bringing a thanksgiving offering? What's the thing? What are we giving thanks for? We're not really being saved from anything in the future. But the truth is that in the future, we're all going to see how everything that Hashem did for us in the past was really all for the best. And we're going to continue giving thanksgiving offerings for everything. When you were poor, Hashem made you poor in order to save you from other misfortune that maybe you had, or the suffering that you had because of the fact that you were poor saved you from doing other sins. And any sickness that a person may have had maybe also absolved him from doing things. And there's actually a portal to allow that person to rise to other spiritual heights. And anything that seemingly looked bad in the future, that will be the song of the future when Moshiach comes, that everything that Hashem did was actually for the best. And another thing in the future is that many people have made the blessing, Baruch Dayan Ha'emes. Blessed is the true judge. That's a blessing that we make when we hear that somebody passes away. And in the future, the blessing will be changed to Baruch HaTov HaMeitiv. Blessed is the one who is good and does good. That means in the future, we will all have a different perspective. When Mashiach comes, we'll all have a different perspective about why it is that people died and how it was only for the best. And we here in our limited focus and our limited perspective down here, we don't see why we should thank Hashem for those things. But in the future, that's what the song of Mashiach will be. That will be the song of the future will be when Mashiach comes. And so therefore, we will constantly be giving thanks to Hashem, and we'll be saying new blessings to Hashem, and everything will be turned upside down, and everything that looked chaotic and catastrophic was actually all blessing. And so therefore, we should be super pumped we should get excited because we can bring on the advent of Moshiach. We can help. How? By changing our ways a little bit. By doing something more, by showing Hashem we're actually interested in Moshiach coming. And God willing, next week is the holiday of Passover. The holiday of Passover is where we were born as a nation, and we started singing to Hashem as a nation. And the same way we were redeemed back then in the year 2448, now so too, hopefully this year, in the year 5780, will also be redeemed, God willing. And so therefore, it is my fervent wish that we're all able to greet Mashiach together, and we'll dance with him together, hand in hand, and then we'll be able to bring the Thanksgiving offerings to Hashem and start singing to Hashem in a way that we never have before. Have an amazing Shabbos. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll talk to you next week.